post made by Drone Wolf Media. And it was his response to Stadia gaming platform. And pretty much his thought process was the simple fact, well, yeah, I'm gonna read his post. He says pretty much, I'm not sure about the new Stadia gaming platform. Streaming 4K over 60 consistently is going to be difficult for most folks. Personally, I feel they should have opted for a standalone gaming platform with the ability to stream as an option. Not to mention the whole data issue. How many people these days have unlimited data, whether cellular or otherwise? I just think they're limiting themselves by making this a gaming only game or a streaming only game system. Guess what we'll see. Or guess we'll see. So my answer to that, in a way, I see where you're coming from on that, but here's my response to that. Yeah, you're right. You know, for someone who may not have unlimited data, this can become a problem. Like I said, especially streaming 4K over 60 consistently. So here is what I'm looking at with this technology. We've kind of seen this done already. When you say have a gaming platform where streaming is an option, it's already done. You got Xbox that's doing it. You got PlayStation that's doing it. You got Nintendo that's doing it. So for Google to pretty much have their own gaming box, they had to do something much better than everybody else is doing. They had to get the hardware at either it had to be cheaper, it still perform as good, or you're going to have to just dominate everybody in the hardware department and find a way to price it in the way that people are going to buy it. Because at the end of the day, you can throw all the hardware you want at it, but people are cheap. It's the same reason why, again, people are not jumping on some of these the top end smartphone. Not a lot of people want to spend $1,200 for a smartphone, and this has come to the whole case with the platform thing. So I see that Google is trying to think outside the box. What is the way that we can bring gaming to you that's different from what everybody else is doing? Maybe we can try doing streaming. We own a lot of servers, and we think we can take advantage of it, and we can do something differently. And honestly, I'm interested in it for this, because of the simple fact that, yes, you're right. When it comes to that, you do have to look at data, but I think now people are well aware of their data constraints, and not everybody's going to probably be caring to try to game at 4K. When I pick one up, I'm okay with it just working at 1080p. And actually, after the 3 months, unless the 4K is that much better, I probably am going to look at going to the free version and dropping it down to 1080p. Because for a lot of people, 1080p is awesome. But as far as using it as a gaming platform, I think it's really going to depend on the person. If you're a hardcore gamer and you're looking, to game out, I think this may not be something for you. Because if you game like hours and hours and hours on end, you're right, this is going to be expensive. You're going to probably bust your data caps, and for you, it'd probably be better off going to a system-based or box-based system. But for people who are casual gamers, you're not quite wanting to spend the money on a box. You're not wanting to spend the money on waiting, or you don't want to spend the time waiting for your software to load up. This is them, and actually, this is for me. I talk about how one of the things that I didn't like about the PlayStation 4 is when I first picked one up is, again, I spend the money for it. I'm ready to get home and play it. I got to spend an hour waiting for the software to update, and then I got to download all the games and wait for this to update, and then I could play. And I'm like, okay, by that point, I kind of spent 2 or 3 hours waiting for, everything to update and download, and I'm still pulling data from the internet. Why could I just jump on and play? And I think this have the opportunity to be awesome where for people like me who want to pick up a controller, play a game for maybe 20, 30 minutes here and there, put it down and keep moving, this may work. But yeah, you make a good point there. I can see where you're coming from. And I'm actually curious for other people out there, as we kind of see this whole, still talking about the Stadia thing, do you think this can work, or do you think, this may be something that may be a problem for a lot of people, especially when it comes to the data front, or if you don't have unlimited data, will this become a problem for people? And, I think the biggest problem for Stadia, honestly, is if they can actually live up to what they're saying, because I've been seeing some YouTube videos that people are saying that, Google's promising a lot, and so far they're not able to live up to it. It's not as smooth as they're trying to make it seem. It's buggy, it got issues, and there's some latency issues, And really, at the end of the day, people may be disappointed. So I think it's going to come down to execution. If they can't execute, it don't matter about whether it's a box or streaming. If people are not going to pick it up, but if they end up executing and actually able to live up to what they're saying they're able to do, and able to get it to work, I think you'll have a niche of people who are going to jump on board because, again, how cheap it will cost to pick one of these up. I think the cost that I would save on picking up a box, especially if I'm not a hardcore gamer, I spend $60 for a controller. I'm on a free version. I only pay for the games. $200 I would have spent on a box. I could save and maybe invest in, I don't know, the more bandwidth, something like that. But yeah, we got to see how this goes. I'm out.